come on. So I go back, I go back in her bedroom. So set myself down and I'm looking at the door handle, it's turning. I say, homeboy, no, I don't get down like that there.
I've never had a white mistress.
Never.
Even my mistresses have been black.
Have you ever had sex with a white woman?
No, I haven't. And not because...
Wait, you've never had sex with a white woman?
And
in life?
No.
Cat Williams said, I'm scared of snow bunnies. He prophesied Shannon Sharpe scandal. Cat Williams said a snow bunny can destroy you in 2 weekends.
DL Hughley just came out swinging at Shannon Sharpe, calling him out for letting women, specifically white women, get into his head and drain his wallet in the process. And before you write DL off as simply hating, you need to see the latest Club Shay Shay episode that's currently making rounds across the internet. Because once you watch how Shannon is still carrying himself out here, you'll understand exactly where DL is coming from and why he felt the need to say it publicly.
No.
Okay.
I'm looking to get about, hey, I'm about to be 55, I'm about to be double nickel. I was a terrible father. I probably was a terrible brother, a terrible son. I definitely was a terrible boyfriend.
All right, let's get into what actually went down on Club Shay Shay. Former NBA player Michael Beasley sat across from Shannon for a conversation about his life and career. And if you're not fully up to speed on Beasley's story, here's the context you need. He is one of the most heartbreaking what-if stories in NBA history. He was a number 2 overall pick with the kind of raw talent that made scouts and coaches believe he could be a generational player. But life had other plans. Poverty, the weight of family expectations, and a series of painful personal losses pulled him in directions that his career never fully recovered from. So during the interview, Beasley opened up about his mother, who passed away from cancer in 2018. He got emotional, explaining how she had deliberately hidden the severity of her illness from him and his siblings. She knew how bad it was. She chose to carry that weight alone rather than burden her children with it. And when Beasley finally understood the full picture after she was gone, the grief hit differently. He wasn't just mourning her, he was processing the anger of not knowing, of not getting the chance to prepare or say what needed to be said. It was a genuinely vulnerable moment. Now watch how Shannon responds to all of that.
Found out my mom was been lying about us about having stage 2 cancer and it was stage 4. Bro, my mom was driving herself to chemo until they put her on hospice. She ain't deserved that, and I was mad at her at that time because I remember I told you my dad did. I ain't know how to just. Yeah, bro. I ain't like that, because, man.
You say you was mad at your mom, what? Because she didn't have anybody to take her? She had to drive herself?
No. I was mad at my mom for my childhood. My dad at 25 told me I cut my whole family off for 3 years. I was pissed at them. Because my dad was a real nigga. Was looking for me my whole life, and I was looking for him, and you got all these random ass in my life. I wanted my dad. And then I got mad at my mom, and then she died, man.
Beasley was sitting there, visibly broken, pouring out one of the most painful chapters of his life. And Shannon's first response was, "So you were mad at your mom because she didn't have a ride?" That's it. That was the follow-up. To a man crying about losing his mother to cancer. The disconnect was jarring. Not a word of acknowledgement, not a moment of sitting with what was just shared. Just a confused, tone-deaf question that had nothing to do with what Beasley was actually expressing. And it didn't stop there. Beasley went on to talk about his cousin James, who passed away on the same day Beasley had an NBA game scheduled. He wanted to be at that funeral. He wanted to grieve properly, to be with his family, but he had already missed a significant amount of games while his mother was dying of cancer, and he felt the pressure, real pressure, to show up for his team. So he made the sacrifice. He pushed the grief aside and went to play. He showed up to that game in the wrong shorts. His mind was somewhere else entirely. He was carrying the kind of weight that doesn't just sit quietly in the background, it takes over. And instead of his teammates recognizing that, instead of someone pulling him aside and checking on him as a human being, they laughed at him. His own teammates laughed at him.
And I didn't know how to say it. I didn't know how to say that. And then I just went out there. I just had the wrong shorts on. They fit the same, so I couldn't feel that shit. laugh. That day, James died 2 days before, my cousin. And I was supposed to be in a funeral, and I was at shoot-around like, damn, should I get on this flight or just play? But if I get on this flight, they're going to think I'm lying about people dying and shit. I ain't want to play at all. I ain't want to play it. I was one of my favorite people and shit, and they was just laughing at me and shit. They was just laughing at me, man. I was hot. I was hot. I was hot. I hated them niggas, man, because my mom didn't deserve shit. And then James died in the car, man. The only reason the nigga ain't because the nigga came down the street and they let James die in the car, man. I couldn't be there for him. And y'all laughed at me.
It was genuinely painful to watch. A man was sitting there, tears streaming, sharing some of the heaviest moments of his life, and Shannon offered nothing. No acknowledgement, no empathy, no pause, just moved straight to the next question as if the moment never happened. And then Club Shay Shay's social media team made it worse. They clipped that segment and posted it to their official account on X, but instead of handling it with any kind of sensitivity, they slapped a clickbait caption on it with zero context and zero compassion for what Beasley had just shared. The caption they chose? LeBron James and Magic Johnson were laughing too, Michael Beasley. That's it. No framing, no acknowledgement that this man was in tears when he said it. Just bait. The internet responded immediately. People were furious, and they didn't just stop at the interview. They started connecting it to Shannon's broader pattern of behavior, including the widely publicized situation involving a young woman he had been involved with. The commentary got pointed out fast. One post that gained serious traction read, "The lack of empathy." What Shannon showed during that Beasley interview is exactly why people feel no sympathy watching him get taken advantage of financially. All that money, all that platform, and nothing real to offer. Another response put it more plainly. That interview was a hard watch. It exposed that Shannon simply doesn't have the emotional tools to navigate a conversation that requires genuine depth and human understanding. A third comment went straight at his personal life. Shannon doesn't operate in the real world, and that's exactly how he ended up in the situation he did. And that's the core of what people are really saying. It's not just about one bad interview. The criticism is rooted in a pattern. Shannon Sharpe has significant wealth, a massive platform, and positions himself as someone other men should look to for guidance. But then the same man allowed a 19-year-old to reportedly walk away with millions of his money and seem to learn nothing from it. That contradiction is what's fueling the backlash. Which brings us to DL Hughley. There's a clip from a Vlad TV interview making the rounds where Vlad asked DL directly about his personal life, specifically about white women, and DL was completely straightforward. He said he had never been with a white woman, not once in his entire life.
I had a white mistress.
Never.
Even my mistresses have been black.
Have you ever had sex with a white woman?
No, I've never. No, I haven't. And not because.
Wait, you've never had sex with a white woman?
And
in life?
No.
DL didn't elaborate with any complicated reasoning. His explanation was straightforward. He simply never felt the pull, never felt like his identity, his status, or his sense of self-worth as a black man required him to pursue white women. It was never a boundary he felt compelled to cross, so he never crossed it. And now people are holding that clip up next to another moment that's resurfacing. Cat Williams sitting across from Shannon Sharpe on Club Shay Shay, saying something remarkably similar. Cat, in his own way, put Shannon on notice during that same interview. He warned him directly. "I told him that the path he was on, the choices he was making, the women he was entertaining would eventually cost him in ways he wasn't prepared for." At the time, a lot of people treated it as Cat being Cat, colorful, quotable, easy to dismiss. But looking at everything that's unfolded since then, people aren't laughing at that warning anymore.
Women are as great as any other women. But I'm not gonna act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends.
Now, sit with that for a second, because the context makes it hit completely differently. A woman with an OnlyFans account allegedly walked away with millions of Shannon Sharpe's money. He first reached a settlement with her
and then lost his ESPN deal on top of it. The whole situation unraveled publicly, and the financial and professional damage was real and significant. So when DL says he never needed to go down that road, never needed that kind of validation from anyone, it lands as more than just a personal preference. It reads as a direct contrast. A man who knew his own value well enough that he never put himself in a position to be exploited like that. Now, to be clear, DL and Shannon have history. This isn't the first time they've had friction, and it won't be the last. These two have been trading shots at each other for years. But the tension escalated into something more serious after Monique's interview on Club Shay Shay. That episode became a flashpoint, and shortly after it aired, DL took to his own platform and called out Club Shay Shay directly. No vague subtweets, no coded language, a direct public call-out. That's where the current chapter of this rivalry really begins.
You said that Shannon Sharpe's interview with Cat Williams was predatory and messy, and it doesn't feel this is a fair example of relationships among black comedians.
I don't think so at all. I think that like any other endeavor, there are jealousies, idiosyncrasies, there's all, but I don't think that's indicative of the experiences that most of us have. And I think that after the Cat Williams interview, which was a phenomenon, he kept trying to replicate it.
Oh, I bring another black
Shannon
comedian?
kept trying to replicate it. He kept trying to let me bring on somebody else to have a beef and then do, like, it just got to be, like, I can understand it was a phenomenon, but then all of a sudden you tried to replicate it. It is too messy. Or now I think it's morphed into something else because I think that has kind of, that brook has run dry.
DL didn't hold back. He said Shannon sits across from his guests, presenting himself like a trusted elder, the cool uncle who's seen it all and has real wisdom to share. But underneath that performance, DL's argument is that what Shannon is actually doing is mining black pain and black trauma for content, packaging vulnerability as entertainment, and calling it a platform. And then he landed the comparison that really got people talking. DL said Shannon Sharpe is nothing more than Wendy Williams with a weight set. That line cut deep, and it was designed to. Because what DL was saying isn't just an insult, it's a critique of the entire operation. Wendy Williams built her career on exposing people, sensationalizing personal struggles, and keeping audiences hooked on other people's lowest moments. DL is arguing that Club Shay Shay, underneath the NFL legend's credibility and the masculine branding, is running the exact same playbook, just with a different costume. And after watching how Shannon handled Michael Beasley sitting there in tears, moving past it without a word, then letting his team clip it for clickbait, it's a comparison that's going to be very hard for Shannon's defenders to shake.
Social media, motherfuckers won't like your to help you. DL Hughley does that for me all the time. If your videos are great, he'll put it on his platform. DL always looks out. Man, likes my Michael Blackson will like my sometimes. Little things here and there.
I guess he ain't put mine up because I'm Wendy Williams with a weight set, so he ain't putting
You're
up.
Wendy Williams with a weight set.
Now, Wendy Williams is undeniably a media figure who has built a massive career. But the honest assessment of how she built it is this. She made her name laughing at other people's pain. When someone was at their lowest, that was content. When a celebrity's life fell apart, that was ratings. She exploited vulnerability and packaged it as entertainment, and audiences rewarded her for it for decades. DL's point is that Shannon is operating out of the same handbook, just with a deeper voice, a bigger frame, and the credibility of a Hall of Fame football career standing behind him. Strip all of that away, and the approach is the same. Now, on the OnlyFans model situation, DL isn't framing it as Shannon simply getting unlucky. His argument is more pointed than that. He's saying this wasn't a man who got caught off guard by an unusual situation. This was a man who was always going to end up there. The lack of self-awareness, the hunger for a certain kind of attention, the reckless decision-making when it comes to women, DL is saying none of that is new. That's been Shannon for a long time. And he has receipts to point to. Remember when Shannon sat down with Cam Newton on Funky Friday? During that conversation, Shannon casually told not one, but two separate stories about being set up by women. Two different situations, two different times he put himself in a compromising position and paid for it.
Oh,
So I go back, I go back in her bedroom. So set myself down and I'm looking at the door handle, it's turning. I say, homeboy, no, I don't get down like that there. Dude come in, he got that chopper.
No, he don't.
Oh, Lord have mercy. He's about to ask me, am I sharp? I said, yeah. He said, I thought so. I said, my man, this your people? He said, yeah, for 2 years. I said, my man, I ain't know. I said, I ain't even know. I said, bro, you know who I am now? I said, man, I'm my bad. I'm at fault. It saved me. Because had I not been, I ain't telling this.
You wouldn't even been able to.
I ain't telling this story, Ken. So I get my stuff. I get on, I said, my man, my bad. So I get in the car. He got me shook. Now, I ain't gonna lie, Ken. He had the chopper. I had, we'd had to rumble a little bit. But he got the chopper. He the big man. So I get to the car, and I'm like, oh, man. I said, man.
It's gone.
I got a Rollie. No, I got a Rollie, my bracelet, and my necklace. I said, man, stop the car. My homeboy said, man, forget that. I said, man, F that, boy, that's 50 bands in there. Man, I went right back up in there. I said, my man, let me get that on the dresser. He said, here you go. So from that was in 93. I have not closed my eyes at another woman's house in 31 years.
He swore he'd never make that mistake again. Yet somehow, at 55 years old, Shannon allowed himself to be set up, and it cost him millions. The scandal was public, damaging, and impossible to ignore. So what did he take away from all of it? Apparently, not much. Because just months later, he was back on his late-night streams, casually boasting about another OnlyFans model he'd been involved with. This time, a creator named Sky Bree.
You know who Sky Bree is, Ocho?
Sky Bree? Who that is, coach?
Yeah. How I do it. How I do
Hey, Sky,
it.
I mean, who is that? Help me out.
You know what I'm saying? She little something. She might be famous for vertical activity that she's good at.
She a hooper?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Who she play for? Who she play for?
She got her own little thing,
Huh?
He said, man, y'all. Man, y'all need to stop, man. Y'all need to stop. Y'all be on that bull jive, man.
Hold on, who she play for? Who she play for?
Back in the day, she could have been on my team.
She played for on her back.
And honestly, this is who Shannon has always been. Careless, unreflective, and seemingly incapable of learning from the moments that have derailed his own life. So when viewers watched him sit across from Michael Beasley, a man visibly emotional, grieving the loss of his mother, and receive almost nothing in return, they weren't shocked. They were just worn out. Because someone who has lived through as much as Shannon has should know better by now. A man his age, with his platform, should be able to meet that kind of pain with something real. But he didn't. And that's the problem. Shannon Sharpe isn't someone who has grown with his experiences. He's simply gotten older. So let me know what you think. Is this just a case of someone who lacks self-awareness, or is there something deeper going on here? Because some of his recent comments about the younger women he pursues are starting to raise eyebrows for reasons that go beyond the usual criticism. And where do you stand on that Shannon and Michael Beasley interview? Drop your thoughts below.